My name is Jeff Begeman. I'm president of Rainbow Mountain Incorporated, also known as Rainbow Mountain Wildlife Sanctuary. Basically head caretaker here, and we've been here since 1981, and we offer the mountain as a place for families to come up and camp and enjoy the mountain setting. Also I have wolf hybrids that I raise, so people come up to meet the wolves and just have a good time with their family. Well, first I look at see how many emails I got from people who want to come up, or people who are interested in a wolf pup, or and grab a little bite to eat, and then it's usually outdoors to clean out the wolf pen. Keeping 12 wolves can get quite messy if you let it go a day or two, so I'm on it twice a day, feeding the animals, miniature horses, the rabbits, ducks and geese, not geese, but quails, pheasants, different animals that we have up here for the kids to come up and see and pet and interact with. Some of these kids come here and never even had a hamster, or don't know what holding a rabbit's like, or petting a wild wolf. Well, not wild, but petting a tame wolf. It's just a memory made, every person that comes up here, that they'll remember the rest of their lives. And that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, we have had a few incidents. One time a guy dragged a deer right down the road right down by the house here, and of course everything is posted up here and we try to keep it under control. We have bear hunters that let their dogs loose and come running up here and chase off animals, or sometimes chase them on here. We did have an incident where a bear was shot on the property, and the people who shot it were caught and prosecuted for it. And it's not that we're against hunting or anything. We just believe that there should be certain spots and areas that are sanctuaries for animals to live without being chased down till they can't run no more and shot out of a tree, or the other ways that animals are killed. So we have had a few incidents, but the locals pretty much have gotten used to us here. And I think they understand and respect us now, that what we're trying to do is actually a good thing. And nothing against them or anything. We just believe that there should be places like this throughout the country. Our river down there acts as a natural fish hatchery. The fish spawn and grow into bigger fish, and they go up and down the river and stock the river naturally with native trout. At one time they stocked up this way with the rainbow trout, but we were told that they were killing off all the natives, and that's why they stopped stocking up here after testing the waters down by the camp area there. It was kind of neat. They had these two little electrode things and a generator on their back, and a guy'd stick them in the water under a rock, and these fish would come floating up. Another guy was scooping them up, putting them in a 5-gallon bucket, and they walked 100 yards and said there's so many native fish on our property because we haven't allowed fishing in there since 1981. that it would be senseless to stock these rainbow trout that are raised in hatcheries, and they'll eat up all the food and eat up all the native fish. So anyway, that's one of the things that we'd have had a hand in, is getting them to stop stocking and letting the native fish go back to the way they used to be hundreds of years ago. There's our rivers and streams, so they're always changing. We usually just say 100 acres, but it says 97.6 plus or minus on the deed. Just started as a hobby. I thought it'd be an awesome dog to have, and in the early 90s I answered an ad in Mother Earth News. In the back, some guy was selling wolf cubs up in Minnesota, so I decided to go up and buy a couple just to have as pets and for my own dogs, and that's how it pretty much evolved. As they got older, I let them mate once, figuring that I didn't want to have to go buy more, and people started asking me if I could get them a pup next year, and that's how I kind of got into what I've got into. Every year I would keep a pup or two. That's how I got 12 of them now, and basically that's pretty much how I got into it. And we use them to help people and the public understand that they are animals and we can live with them, and they're not these ferocious beasts that they are made out to be. Of course, because of TV and books and things that make people have bad attitudes towards them. So we're trying to educate the public that they are creatures that we can live with and share the world with. So that's kind of how I got into it all, and what we do with them now, and they're just as lovable as can be, as you probably noticed. I would have to say how loyal they are. A normal dog, you get them in 4 or 5 of them, there's going to be fighting and carrying on. And they're pretty loyal to each other, and basically use that pack instinct to communicate with each other and know who's kind of the boss or the alpha wolf. And so I'd have to say probably that. Other than having people come up and see them, I mean, I get a rush just from that, and showing people that they're very docile animals. Of course, in the wild, they got to kill to eat, but in captivity, they can be real puppy dogs. Every day, I go in there with, 6 of them to my back. I have no problem with them. They pretty much are timid and stay back from me, and I feed them and clean up in there, and administer medications or stuff on their ears for flies or whatever I can. But that's probably the one thing that the media, has portrayed, that they're these big ferocious beasts that turn into other animals and other creatures and everything. And it's just a bunch of, malarkey. They're just animals that want to survive like anything. And that's what we try to portray to the people, and people go away here leaving and having a whole different attitude of wolves. I was from Michigan, lived right next to Lake Erie, so it was kind of nice. I could go out and camp on islands and different things. So I had a lot of freedom when I was a kid, and I could go to places, but it was usually flat, more flat land. And it wasn't until I came down and seen these mountains, and I just fell in love, and so did the parents. And that's when we decided, let's come down and homestead a place together. And that's how Rainbow Mountain Wildlife Sanctuary was started. First, we didn't want people hunting and fishing on it, so we posted it. And that kind of made the locals kind of angry that fished and hunted here, but we weren't into that. We thought we needed a place for animals to be safe for a while and grow and carry on with their thing that they can do without being hunted and killed off. So that's how it kind of evolved into a wildlife sanctuary. Was after we posted it, we decided we didn't want any of that going on here, and we decided to make it the wildlife sanctuary. In order to do that, but also we wanted to share it with people so that they could, not everybody can come up and have a little place in the mountains to come to and camp and spend quality time with the children. And that was part of what we wanted to do here, was make it available to low-income people, people that don't have a chance to come out here or live in the city, and just give them the mountain experience and have a good time. And that's what it was all about, and that's what it'll be about until I'm long gone, if we can continue to carry this on like we had planned to. Well, first I would invite them and welcome them up to enjoy the mountain with their families. Hike, swim, camp, picnic, meet the pack, see the other animals. Of course, we don't have facilities for thousands of people, but a few every week is fine. And basically people contact me either on the telephone or through Facebook Messenger or email, and they just ask. It's nice to know they're coming, because I do hold a job that I have to go to. So it's nice to know if they're coming, and I can be here to introduce them and let them, pet and hold wolves and different things like that. But I would also like to influence them that if we had places like this throughout the country and gave the animals somewhere where they knew they were protected, the world would be a lot better place for all of us, two-legged and four-legged. And we're trying to instill that in people, that they could even start this even in their own backyard with a little pond or something that would bring in wildlife and frogs and different things. There's a lot of things that they can do. If not, just donate to any animal sanctuary or our organization with something like this in mind, that usually work on donations only, and it's a good way to support your neighborhood and the wildlife that lives there. So if we can instill that in people, then we've done our job.
Painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in